welcome to episode 41
31.
31. It's been one of those days today. Episode 31 of Crochet Moments. I'm Helen, and this is
Emily,
who really wanted to quickly say hello to everybody before she went to bed. So, are you going to say hello and goodbye to everybody and then go?
Bye.
There you go. So, good night, kiss.
Good night.
Mwah. Night night. She can be adorable when she wants to be. Yeah, so this is my place where I like to talk about all things yarn. I like knitting with it, I like crocheting with it, and I seem to like buying it quite a lot. So that's always fun. And yeah, so it's been a couple of weeks. Actually, no, it's only been a week since my last episode. My last video. My last episode was 2 weeks ago. My last video was me opening a very lovely happy mail from Soffity, who lives all the way in Australia. I have already shown that yarn in that video. I will do a quick show later when I do my incoming properly. But if you do want to see me and my face of first opening it, because I hadn't opened it before I started my video. Anyway, sorry, I've just noticed Emily's been scribbling on the furniture again. 5-year-olds, gotta love them. So what have I been up to? Well, I went to a yarn show on the last Sunday, so that was the 10th of October. I spent more money than I should have done. So I went to the Bakewell Wool Gathering, and I had a blast. It's my second ever yarn show that I've been to. The first one I'd been to since having more experience with hand-dyed yarns and knitting, because when I went to Nottingham Yarn Expo in 2019, and at that point I was pretty much only crocheting. So now I've reintroduced knitting into my repertoire, as we all know, and so it's my first time going around as someone that knows a little bit more than I did 2 years ago about yarn. So I did take a little, well, Simon, God love him, Simon did take some footage, so I will show that now and then I'll show you what I bought. So roll the camera. camera to get that set up. I've been to make myself some tea. This is the same tea as last time, the Pepika Nighttime Berry. I do like this tea. Okay, so what did I buy at the Bakewell Wool Gathering? I started with a bag because the bags are part of a fundraising effort for Macmillan cancer charity. So half of the cost of the bag, which was £5, so £2.50, goes to the charity. And my girls love the fact that it's a sheep eating a Bakewell tart. And we did go into the town and buy a Bakewell tart. So what did I buy? I bought lots. Probably too much. So first of all, I bought a sock blocker. So this is from the Threshing Barn. That's their label there. And I thought this is lovely. And it was fairly inexpensive. It was only about £4 if I remember right. I got the size 5 to 7 because I am a UK size 6 and well, Catherine's feet are growing at a rate of knots, so it won't be too long before her socks will fit on this too. And I've been saying for ages I want a sock blocker, so I've got that. I did buy some things for Catherine. Oh, so Catherine spotted this beauty in a sale bin at Truly Hooked. That's their label. At her stall, and I'm quite frankly jealous that I've given it to her. This was a birthday present, so it was Catherine's birthday, the Monday just gone, so I said that I would treat her to some yarn, and I did. This colour is called Moonlight. It's a standard sock, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 425 meters per 100 grams. Now there was a method to the madness for buying this because we bought a shawl pattern. All kinds of everything, designed by Fiona Hamilton McLaren, and this was a stall called A Little Bit Sheepish. They had lots of things on there I could easily have bought. Because this is a fairly simple looking pattern, I said to Catherine we could make this together. So once she's finished her current project, she's knitting again, we are going to start this. So she did need a contrast colour. I was going to go through my minis, so she wants to make it with this. But I don't really have any minis that contrast quite nicely with it. So I dug into my big skein stash, and I've paired it with my Orchidine yarns. So that is going to be that. Now, I obviously needed to buy myself some yarn because we're making a shawl together and I had to buy yarn. So I stopped at this lady's stall. So it's Pippin Yarns, and the lady was really, really nice. She was such a nice lady. We've had a lovely chat about the Stephen West mystery knit along actually, because we're both a little bit intimidated by his patterns, but really want to make one. I was going to do this year's mystery knit along. I might see, I'm not sure. I really like the look of last year's mystery knit along. I might have a go at that instead, but I love this yarn, it's so soft. This is Elphaba, I think that's how it's pronounced, and it's a 75/25, and she had the most amazing colours on her stall, and the green just really called out to me because I knew what yarn I would put with this. So I came home, I instantly go to my stash and I pull out my camellia yarn. So how beautiful do those colours look together? I just love those colours. They're amazing. And I'm itching to start. And well, I've been itching to start a lot of things. And it's not good because I have enough works in progress and I do need to get down them. So there's that. So Catherine also wanted some stitch markers and, oh crikey, there's a hair tangled in those. I think she's been keeping them around the hairbrush. So she really liked these. Oh, can't really see them terribly well. So there they are, little milkshakes. She's already got one stitch marker that she's using to help mark her progress on her current project. So as you can see, these were £8 for a set of 5. And it's the Crafty Bird. So there's her details. craftybird.co.uk. So that's her logo. Really, really nice. And so yeah, so that's that. What shall I show next? I bought so much. Well, this one isn't one that I bought, it's one Simon bought for Catherine. Because when we were at the stall for the knitting gift shop, we spotted this beautiful kit that I said to her when I saw the colours, oh, your grandma would love that. And she wanted to make it for grandma. So it's a really simple pattern. It's just a ribbed scarf. So very, very simple pattern. Catherine's already got the repeats set up because it's not a straightforward rib. It's sort of, as you can see, it's got a bit of a moss stitch pattern going through in between the rib stripes. So this is actually quite a good, was quite well priced for what you get. So you got the pattern, which, yes, I know it was a simple pattern, but as a pattern you get the yarn, which I've already caked up because she needed to use it. So we got 100 grams of double knit yarn, and let's get the label out for you to see. So this is 100% organic Falklands Merino. There's the knitting gift shop. I bought a few things from this store myself. And here's the yarn. Beautiful colours. Really, really pretty colours. So this is knit with a 4.5mm needle. Catherine doesn't have a 4.5, so I very kindly lent her some of my zings. This is how much she's got done so far. So where the stitch marker is now, what you see there is the progress from one session of knitting. We're hoping she gets it done in time for Christmas. We hope. I'm sure she will. Because it's for grandma, I think we've got more chance of her finishing this than maybe we do the shawl that she wants to make alongside me. And it also comes with this really, really lovely shawl pin. Let's get it out. There it is. It's so pretty. It's so lovely. And well, Catherine instantly knew she wanted to make this scarf for grandma, which is why Simon bought it, because he has a budget for presents and he never knows what to get her from the girls, so this has helped helped him not have to make a decision. So she's keeping it in the little bag that it came in, one little mesh bag. I've pinched her project bags. So that's her knitting. Let's have a sip of my tea now. That should be brewed enough. Oh yes. And what else have I got in my bag of tricks? Right, okay. There's a mystery something in there which I'm not going to show because this is going to be a Christmas gift for somebody that watches this channel, and I wouldn't want to spoil the surprise. Now, I did go with the intention of getting a kit because I love the idea of buying something where the yarn has been either specifically dyed or picked out for a project, because one of my biggest failings as a knitter and a crocheter is yarn selection. I have a tendency to pick yarns that don't necessarily work well with the pattern. I still go with it. But I visited the watercolours and lace stall and I purchased this kit, the Megan shawl. There were several shawls that I really liked. So if I come across this person in a future yarn show, the likelihood of me buying another kit is quite high. And it's quite good value, £18.50. And that's just my receipt. Oh, there's a leaflet all about her. Watercolours and lace. Oh, let's hide my facey. So Julie Harris Designs. And she has the most amazing yarns. She even had cobweb yarn, which is even finer than lace yarn, I believe. Wow. That's all I can say is wow. So as a slightly more up close picture, it's a fairly simple looking pattern. I'm still getting to grips with lace knitting, and I was determined that I needed to have a lace pattern to try. And looking at the sample that she had knit up, I think that's within the realms of my capability with a lot of stitch markers. So this is the yarn, and I almost feel like I bought this just for the yarn, because the yarn is just, I don't know, maybe I'm going through a green phase, but just look at that green. It's just, oh, it's beautiful. It's so, so beautiful. I love this green so, so much. And so this is BFL Masham 4-ply. So it's 75% blue-faced Leicester wool and 25% Masham wool. There's about 400 metres to a skein, and the colour is just forest green. And it's so, I don't know, because it's such a high wool content, it is 100% wool essentially. I don't know how that's going to wear as a shawl, but as it'll be going over clothing, it's only really my neck that I need to worry about. So I do sometimes, I wouldn't say I'm allergic to wool, but sometimes just the tickliness of it can just put me on edge a little bit. But I love that yarn. And that's not all I bought. I stopped at Joe Piccalilli and bought some DPN holders. I had planned on getting a project bag from her, but she only had the totes that she makes on her stall. So I didn't really want another tote because I have totes. I was looking specifically for a project bag, but never mind. I still bought some. I bought 3 DPN holders. One of them is already in use on Emily's socks, which I will show you soon. So I got these lovely ones. So we've got sheep and rainbows and flowers and some colourful llamas. And there's her little... And I have to say, while I was at her stall, she and her husband were great with the girls. They really made them feel included. I think Emily by this time was getting a bit bored because I went with the intention I was going to do a circuit, and I wasn't going to buy in the first circuit. The first circuit was just to scout the lay of the land, get into my head anything that really stuck out that I definitely wanted to buy, and think about the things that I saw that I liked, so I could have time to process. I didn't want to just buy on the spur of the moment, because as it is I went over budget, and that's with careful consideration of the things that I was buying. So oh dear, I'm hoping that I'm more restrained at my next yarn show. I'm going to another one. When is it? It's next month. I can't remember the exact date, but it's wool at Junction 13. So I will be going there. And I'm quite excited because Andy of Attic Spin Dye is going to be exhibiting there. So I get to squish all of his colours. And well, I'll definitely be buying something, because every time I look at his website, I find it so hard to decide. So I also treated myself while I was at the knitting gift shop to this lovely little pot of stitch markers. Now these are really pretty. So it just twists off, and we get I don't really want to end up spilling them all over the place. So we get this lovely little pot, and we have some simple shapes. So these are knitting markers because they go over the needle. They're for going over a needle, not for marking your progress as a crochet. So I don't know if I'll be able to see these properly. So we've got little heart shapes. Ugh. So we've got diamonds. I think I might have to just take a picture, and just a couple of sizes of the plain rings. Hearts, there's some hexagons as well. I like the hearts, they're very cute. And there is this really pretty, so this is a lobster clasp. So it's more of a progress keeper than a stitch marker, but look how pretty that is. I really like that. I think that is what drew me to the set in the first place. Plus this little box is so diddy and tidy and cute that I don't know how much use some of the ring markers will get, because I don't tend to use them too often. Maybe when I start to do a little bit more lace, I might. So we'll see how it goes. But I love them, and well, I had to buy them. Okay, so I also bought, well, the girls bought, sorry, close up of the top of my head then, a lucky dip, a mini lucky dip. So there's this, we got this one, and we got this one. I like this one, and this one, and I can't for the life of me remember who the dyer was for these, but yeah, these will be going into my little Cozy Moments blanket bag. They're so pretty. Love those colours. Now, this next purchase, my first time round, this particular stall was at the furthest end of the area that we were going around looking at stalls for, and I had a lovely chat to her about her yarns that she had on display. She had just some single 100-gram skeins. She had some sock sets on the table, and she had last year's Stephen West MCal around her neck in the most amazing shades of brown. Wow, it was beautiful. And I just, going around, couldn't get this out of my head. Look at those colours. So this was noodle soup, and it says yarn that's good for the soul. This is called, I think it's called Yarn Dare 28. I can't quite read that second word. So it's a super sock, 75-25, and this is 2 50-gram skeins, and apparently when you knit from them you will get identical socks. I find it really hard to get identical socks, so this was definitely a draw for me. So yes, I really enjoyed this, the idea of this, and the colours, just, I couldn't get those colours out of my head. So I was really glad when I got back round that she hadn't sold this set, because this was the only set, if I can remember right, that she had on her table that was this colourway. So, and then oh no, it's not my last purchase. I did buy a project bag. I'll have to come back with that in a moment. But at Rosie's Moments stall, she had something that I'd heard about but hadn't actually seen in real life. Now I need to be careful how I take this out. So this is Rosie's Moments, and it's her giftable, which really intrigued me. So this colour is lavender blue. There's 100 grams of sock weight yarn in here. It's a 75-25, so it's almost definitely going to end up as socks. And the giftable, this looks huge. And the reason it looks huge is because it's filled with little gifts. There are going to be stitch markers, little bits and bobs in there. So there's already a ring or something just poking out there. So this very well might be the next yarn I use to make socks with, because I'm dying to find out. I'm not one of those people, and I can feel things as I squish the ball. I can feel them. There were a couple of colours that I liked. I won't get any more until I know for definite that it's something I like. But yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to get started on something with this. It's very exciting, and I don't know, but I love the colours so much that could quite easily be a hat or a scarf as well, because those colours are gorgeous. But I'm dying to find out. I'm not the kind of person that would dig through, and there are some people out there that have bought these that I've seen and they've just taken all the bits out. I don't want to do that. I want to find them as I get to them. But this is an amazing little idea that, like I said, I'd seen some people share it on Facebook. I'd never actually thought about getting one myself until I saw them in real life. And that was actually not too bad a price. It was only $17.99. So if you think that ordinarily a skein of 100 grams worth of hand-dyed sock yarn is priced between £15 and £20. So all of those extras are extras on top of the yarn when you're not paying extra for it. So other than the project bag, which I will go and find, come back in a moment to show you, that was my purchases from the Bakewell Wool Gathering. So I'm about to run out of my 30 minutes time. I've been talking so much about my shopping. So I'm going to pause. I'll be back in a moment. Right, so here is my bag. It's an Emma Ball bag, or is that the Artist? I think that might be the Artist. But I love this bag. It's got all knitting people on, and it's so cool. And I've actually got a crochet project in here. I haven't worked on this, so I won't show it. This is just my Portobello Road project, which, like I said, I've not worked on that. I've switched up a little bit with how I'm working on things because I need to get some things finished. I've got way too many things. So I'm going to go into my projects, and then I've got a tiny bit of less fun incoming. It's still fun, which we'll show at the end. So I have one finished object. I've got more whips than I can count, but only a couple that I've worked on over the last 2 weeks. So let me just explain what I've been doing, because I have added another wheel to my decision wheel. Decision wheel app. I've got so many wheels there, and they're all to do with making. I am alternating between knit and crochet projects. I am also now spinning to find out how many days I work on a project, because I want to start concentrating on projects a little bit more and get something finished. And I'm having a little project up to sit side of my bed, a crochet project and a knit project. So if it's a crochet day, I'll crochet. If it's a knit day, I'll knit. And hopefully I'll start to see some more finishes coming through. I would really like to get down to less whips. I don't want to put a number on it, but less whips. And it's so hard because I keep seeing things I want to start, especially when it's things I already have yarn for that I can start with. That's the hardest part. So my finished object. I don't actually have the pattern down with me for this, but I finished Johnny the Monkey from my Zoomigurumi book. There he is. He doesn't have a tail. He's supposed to have a tail, but I ran out of my purple Aran yarn. Almost all of my amigurumis I am going to be using scraps for the most part, just as a way to use them up, really, because a lot of the time those scraps won't get used for anything else. So I have decided, well, quite a while ago now, to work on my amigurumi skills using all of these scraps. And here is Johnny. He's a little bit strange looking. He doesn't remind me much of a monkey. I still think he's cute. This yarn is Paint Box Aran. I can't remember the name of the purple, and I'm fairly sure this was it was either called Cream or Vanilla Cream. And these are colours I bought. I actually made my houndstooth scarf. I crocheted the houndstooth scarf with this, and that was one of my earlier episodes actually. I made it as a Christmas gift for one of my work colleagues. So yes, he's got safety eyes. I do need to start learning how to embroider faces, but there he is. And I've put his arms on slightly strange. I think because he's got quite a narrow top at the top of the body, I don't know, but he's cute, and I think Emily has already claimed him. So he's going to go live in Emily's room tomorrow. Now he's been shown on my video. So another wheel on my app. Because I now have a few pattern books for amigurumis. Sorry, I've got a really dry throat today. I didn't want to just stick to the one book now, but I didn't want multiple amigurumis on at the go all the time. Just stick to the one. So I spun to decide whether or not I use my Zoomigurumi book, whether or not I use my Imaginarium, my Edward's Crochet Imaginarium, which is what did come up, and my Edward's Menagerie. So this Edward's Crochet Imaginarium is the pattern book that came out, and I used my artificial intelligence friend, who I won't say her name because she will answer me, but she begins with an A. I used her to, I basically asked her to choose a number between 1 and 23, because that's how this pattern works. So I'm not sure how much you are aware of how this, so this, so there's a standard form to the basic shape of each toy in this book, and then you have a sort of a flip book. So there's one for the heads, one for the arms, and then one for the legs, and then you have a whole section at the back for little extras. So I spun, what numbers did I spin? So I spun head number 6, so he's going to have that head. Whoop. And then I spun for the arms number 9. So his arms are going to look like that. And then I spun legs number 3. So his feet are going to look like that. So he's going to look like that when he's done. So very, very strange. And I'm going to, every time I work on this book, I'm just going to use a random number generator to choose my monster. Okay, so as I was saying, what was I saying? Imaginarium. Anyway, I really love this book, and I love that there are literally millions of different varieties of monster that you can go with. And I'm just about, well, I'm almost ready to start the decreases on the body. So I've done the main form. So I've given him safety eyes. There is a step-by-step guide on how to embroider the eyes, so I will try that on the next one. So there he is. He looks a little bit like E.T. right now. But this is the yarn that I'm using. I have no idea the colour or the make. I assume that it's 100% acrylic, but this is one of the balls of yarn that was in my mum's stash. It was quite a messy ball, so I skinned it, caked it up. So I'm quite enjoying making him so far, and I'm looking forward to adding the extras. So this is my upstairs crochet project. So whatever, so sort of half an hour in the morning while Simon's in the shower, I do a project, I work on a project, and this is my crochet project. My knit project for when Simon's in the shower is my little bag of yarn that I got from Attic Spin Dye. So I finished a square. I've got a square done on my Cozy Moments blanket, and I've got about this much done on the next one. So this is the blanket so far. I'm doing it corner to corner because haven't decided yet how big I want it. So I figure if I do it corner to corner, when it gets to the width that I think I want, I can start to reduce those, but the colours are amazing. These are amazing. So these are little sets of 10-gram minis that are already balled up, and you can buy these from Andy's shop. He's got an Etsy shop, and they're all just little bits of discontinued yarns, just trials. They're trying out a colour, and Andy very kindly sent this with my last order, so for me to have a go at, and I love it so much that if he has any of these at his stall when I go to the yarn show, hint hint, I will be buying one. Because especially if they're different colours, because he has so many beautiful colours. He is an actual artist when it comes to yarn. He's beautiful colours. So that's that whip. So I've been mostly concentrating on a couple of whips. So I've done a bit more on my Faith cowl. I need to be careful how I take this out because it's still attached to a ball of yarn. Didn't quite finish the round that I'm on. So yes, so this one I've been working on as and when I feel like it. It's just around here, around there, nothing exceptional. So here is my progress so far. Starting to get big. Certainly big enough to sit across my knees while I'm crocheting on a round, which is nice. Now the weather's starting to turn chilly. So the last time I showed this, I think I was just up to this grey square, so I've got all of this done. So I finished part 2, which is up to these bead stitches. I do not like bead stitches. And this bit around here, so I'm 3 rounds into part 3. So I am working about, well actually I think part 5 is released today, so I am 2 weeks behind, but I don't care. This one I'm working at my own pace. I've only got one cowl that I'm particularly concerned about keeping up to date with, and that is my Crochet Now one. Because that's a part a month, so that I don't really have an excuse not to keep up with that one, other than the fact that I want to work on all of the things. So that's my Faith cowl. This one I am using the Naturals yarn pack, bamboo and cotton. This is in the called for colours in the kit. This one's blush, and this one's dusk. And I quite like the colours. I love how the colours work with each other, and the little pops of green. There's not a lot of green in it, in the whole blanket actually, but I do like it. I've got to put my sheet with my row count on my Amigurumi back in the bag. So yeah, so really I've mostly the last 2 weeks been concentrating the largest part of my time excuse me, on 2 projects. So the knit project is my knit along socks, which are taking forever, but I'm getting there. So the Corallium socks, there they are. It's starting to look a bit tatty now from all the use, the amount of times it's been out. I really find myself struggling to work very long on this at a time. Ooh. So I have started the heel on the second sock, so we're getting there now. We are getting there. There it is. So these are worked using short row heels. So I've done the first set of the heel, and now I just need to start the decreases on that. I can't remember where I'd got to on there, but I'll have it written down on a piece of paper. So there's stitch marker that I'm using, so I know where my beginning of round is. I'm knitting these on 2mm Addies. I'm not knitting on socks on 2mm needles again because it feels like it's taking forever, and I'm sure the size of the needle is making it harder because I'm working on more stitches than I normally would, especially for a sock for Catherine. I would ordinarily be on the smaller size, but I'm knitting the medium size, the 64 stitches. It's my sock blocker. And now I have a sock blocker, you can see how this pattern knit looks properly. And I have to be careful how I pull it up because obviously this is a little bit too big for Catherine. But here's the sock. So you can see how that lace, once it's all stretched out over the blocker, how it sits. I quite enjoyed doing the lace. I'm just starting to get a bit bored with doing the same 2 rows of knitting all the time. And I'm using my Dinah's Home of Crafts Nameless. So that's that. I might even have enough left over to make a small pair of socks for Emily. We shall see. Put that. Oh, this is in my bag from Soffity, which is so nice. Really, really nice. I've got a very generous friend in Soffity. And my other project, which is over here because I was working on it this morning while I was waiting for the girls to finish their breakfast before getting them ready for school. And this is my All the Blues shawl. That is the name of the pattern. Let me get the pattern out for you. This is in my Modern Crocheted Shawls and Wraps book that I bought for the work from the works for wrong side, £4. And I love this pattern. It's very, I've said this before, I'm not normally one for crocheting the same row over and over and over again, but this has been a really nice palette cleanser from working sort of my faith cal and things like that. So here it is, Shades of Blue, sorry, it's called. Don't want to show too much because it's such a simple pattern, although you could probably work it out if you looked at it close enough. So here it is. It's getting rather big, and I'm loving how big it's getting. So by the time I'm done on this will be definitely big enough to wrap around my shoulders as a proper wrap rather than just as a scarf. Ooh. Getting myself all tangled up. But yeah, so it's already covering my shoulders and the tops of my arms. So this would be a great summer wrap. It is made with cotton. Well, a cotton acrylic mix. Oh, I'm getting in a right tangle. It's the Hobby Craft brand, Knitcraft Cotton Blend Plain. It's a 50-50 cotton acrylic mix. And the thing I like about this is it's almost always on 3 for 2. I'm using 6 balls of this. So 2 balls of the white, 2 of the lilac, and then I have 2 balls of this colour, the purple. So it's kind of well, it's not quite a fade, but the colours do go really nicely together. And I'm really enjoying just, especially, this has been the project I've worked on most this week actually, because I spun this shawl for a 7-day stint. So I've still got the weekend, so there's a possibility this could be finished by the time you next see it. So yeah, it's just been nice. I've had really stressful couple of weeks at work. And it's been really nice to just let that melt away in some mindless crochet. I don't have to think about what I'm doing. I know what stitch I'm on. I know I don't have to do any counting. It's just amazing. Just for that. So I mean, I don't know about anyone else, but certainly for me, my knitting and my crochet is the equivalent of what some people might have for a glass of wine at the end of the day. I do like a little tipple every now and then, but not every day. And this helps when I've had a really hard day. So today was particularly stressful. So today, when I finish filming and I've tidied everything away, I'm going to crochet my little heart out and watch some TV, and then by bedtime my mind will be clear and I'll be just zen. I think the phrase is zen. So yeah, so that is pretty much all I've been working on the last 2 weeks. Like I said, I'm hoping that by working on my projects in this way, I might start to see more things finished. Because I have a sweater down there somewhere that I started. I literally just cast it on and did the first 10 rows. Which is why it's never been shown, and it's not come up on my wheel. So I need to get some of those projects off the wheel. I think that's where I'm going wrong. I have too many projects on the go. I have too many knit whips, too many crochet whips. I need to get that down to 3-4 tops of each project, so then I have a better chance of seeing some of the things I want to work on. Well, I want to work on everything, but I might have a better chance of them coming through. I realise I'm rabbiting on now, and I am running out of space on my memory card, so I need to stop talking and finish showing. So my magazines, I've had both of my magazines. My crochet now arrived today, a day late. It's supposed to arrive before it's in the shops. It was in the shops yesterday. So I had a quick flick through. So I've got a push-in hook and a stitch marker, and this is a 4mm hook. Hopefully the hook stays in the handle. Some of these free hooks, they come loose. I love the polymer handled hooks though. Also I have this push-in the cat Christmas collection. So some festive push-in patterns. Things like there's a Christmas wreath there, and as a push-in, because it wouldn't be right without a push-in the cat. There she is. And so all of these patterns are actually done with Zoomigurumi, which is a cotton thread. Like I said, most of mine are going to be in scraps until I've run out of scraps that will go. So here's the magazine. From my quick flick, the only thing that I really will be making out of this, I think, will be my crochet along pattern. So this is the crochet along, the Enigma cowl. And the part that I am on is just going to be this triangle here. So I might even get that done tonight. Maybe have an hour doing that tonight. My Knit Now magazine, on the other hand, are full of post-its. It's a birthday issue, so they've done it as a special collector's edition, and it's quite a chunky one. There's loads of patterns in there. Where shall I start? So let's start with Knitmas. So they've got this little supplement for Christmas themed knits. So as you can see, there are a couple of things in here. There's this really amazing blanket. I've never knit a blanket before, other than the Cozy Moments one, which isn't finished yet. I really like the look of that. I really want to give that a try. Whether or not that will happen soon, I don't know, but it's definitely on my radar. And then there's this quite cute Christmas jumper, although I do have a couple of Christmas jumper patterns from my mum's stash that I like as well. I might not actually make that, but I've marked it because I like it. And I also got this pattern, and there's a couple of things in here that I like too. So there's even some things that I plan on making for Simon. So first of all, for me, I quite like this sweater, cable sweater. And there's a hat and mitts pattern there. So I might make those for Simon. There's another cable jumper here. Catherine quite likes this one. And there's a his and hers jumper. There's a his and hers jumper. And Simon actually likes the jumper, so I might. There they are. So it's a very simple looking pattern. The Fair Isle effect is created apparently through slip stitches. So there's no actual colour changing there. So I'm going to give that a go as well. And then the main issue, there's several things in here that I'm desperate to start, which is terrible. I need to stop being desperate to start things. So there's this, and this is amazing. This is the Atomic jumper. It's designed by Annie Howard. I need this in my life. I love this so much. I need to make that a lot. And then there's this really cute cardigan that does go up to Emily's age. So this is going to be made, and I plan on using the Hayfield Spirit for it. I think that would work really well with that. So there's the next part of the knit along, which I'm still on my... Am I on my first project? Have I finished a project? No, I haven't finished a project. So this is part 6 of the knit along. I'm not sure if I like that or not. I'm undecided. But this is using the alpaca yarn, and I definitely react to alpaca. Okay, and then there's this really cute hat with penguins on it. You can't really see in that picture. You can see it a little bit better in that picture. How cute is that hat? And this, wow, is just wow. It's really hard to just wow. It's just I don't want to show the pattern, but just, this is the Cassiopeia shawl, and I really some more need to make that. So those are my magazines. The only other incoming you will have already seen if you see my previous video. It's just my yarn from Soffity, which is still in its big envelope, and it's just some Bendigo woolen mill. Is it Bendigo wool mill? And it's all Australian cotton yarn anyway, in various colours, which I still haven't decided what I'm making with that yet, Soffity. I'm looking forward to looking out for a pattern, but I do need to finish something first. I gave myself a stern talking to after my video of opening it. So now I am running out of space on my memory card, so I'm going to say a quick goodbye. Let me know what you think of the things I've bought, my little video vlog type thing that I've showed at the start, and everything else. So I will see you again in a couple of weeks. So all the best, stay well, stay safe, and happy crafting. Bye.